Good evening, members of council, ladies and gentlemen, staff. I see that we have quorum, and I call this regular meeting for the Town of Pelham Council for Monday, September 18th, 2017 to order. We will begin with the singing of our national anthem, and I would ask Councillor Papp to lead us, and all who are able to rise.
O Canada, our home and native land, true patron all, in all thy Son's command. With glowing hearts we see thee rise, the true north, strong and free. From far and wide, O Canada, we stand on guard for thee. God keep our land glorious and free. O Canada, we stand on guard for thee. O Canada, we stand on guard for thee.
Thank you very much, Councillor Papp. Ladies and gentlemen, thank you. It has been moved by Councillor Junkin, seconded by Councillor King. Be it resolved that the agenda for the September 8th, 2017 regular meeting of council be adopted as circulated. Are there any changes to the agenda? There being none, I call the question. All those in favor? Any opposed? That motion carries. Next is disclosure of pecuniary interest and the general nature thereof. That is, any conflicts of interest that any members of council may have. Do any members have any conflicts that they need to disclose?
None, Mr. Mayor.
Okay, thank you. Can that be so noted? I have none either. We do not have any presentations, delegations, or regional report this evening. There was regional meetings started back after Labor Day, but we don't have Councillor Beatty here with a report on that. So we'll look forward to that report at our next meeting. We move to minutes. It's been moved by Councillor Kersey, second by Councillor Papp. Be it resolved, the following minutes be adopted as printed, circulated, and read. Minutes of the special council meeting of September 5th and minutes of our regular council meeting September 5th, 2017. Are there any errors or omissions in those minutes? There being none, I call the question. All those in favor? Any opposed? That motion is carried. Thank you. Next, we move to consent agenda items to be considered in block. Are there any items that members of council would like to lift for separate consideration? There being none, it's been moved by Councillor Junkin, seconded by Councillor King. Be it resolved that the following consent agenda items be received and the recommendations contained therein be approved as applicable. Presentations, recommendations arising from Committee of the Whole. Be it resolved the council approve the recommendations from the Committee of the Whole regular meeting on September 5th, 2017 as presented. We also have the minutes. Be it resolved the following minutes be adopted as printed, circulated, and read. Committee of the Whole minutes of September 5th. Staff reports of routine nature for information or action. 2017 Canada Day Celebration Final Report. Be it resolved the council receive the concept paper providing the 2017 Canada Day Celebration Final Report and the council support an application for funding from Heritage Canada for the 2018 Celebrate Canada Grant, and the council declare Pelham's 2018 Canada Day celebration a municipally significant event, and the council authorized the clerk to make application for a special occasion permit for Pelham's Canada Day celebration this next year on Sunday, July 1st, and also on Monday, July 2nd, 2018. We also have a report regarding Pelham Culture Days coming up from September 29th to October 1st. Be it resolved the council receive and support the activities noted in the concept sheet Culture Days, September 29th to October 1st, and the council proclaims September 29th and October 1st, 2017 as Pelham Culture Days. We have some action correspondence of routine nature. Information from the Scouts regarding their annual Apple Drive fundraiser. Be it resolved the council receive the correspondence dated August 21st from the Fawn Hill Community Scouting, and the council endorse the Scouts annual Apple Day fundraiser. Mark this on your calendar. This is from October 13th and 14th, 2017. We also have motions here to receive correspondence, the following information. information from the Municipal Transit Steering Committee Working Group and the establishment of that group. I'll note that Councillor Beatty, I think as was mentioned in our last meeting, is a member of that group, and Councillor Papp and I are trying to meet with him in advance of their first meeting. And a thank you letter from Brian and Nancy Bizzato. Then we have committee minutes for information. It's from the Pelham Seniors Advisory Committee meeting minutes of September 6th. Be it resolved, the council received the Pelham Seniors Advisory Committee meeting minutes September 6th for information, and that Pelham Seniors Advisory Committee recommends that council approves a contract to undertake a detailed review of all regional age-friendly documents, including those from the regional and municipal committees, to develop a specific and inclusive format in order to proceed with future survey of older adult residents of the town of Pelham, and that the funds be taken from the Pelham Seniors Advisory Committee 2017 budget to a maximum of $3,000. Questions or comments on any of those items? Councillor Kersey.
Thank you, Mr. Mayor. I'd like to make a comment regarding the Pelham Seniors Report and then ask a question. Perhaps Councillor Papp might be able to bring some clarity to it.
Sure.
First, for clarity, I noted in the report that Ms. Cook reported on the Summerfest events and stated that there were no zone services provided at Summerfest 2017. And I hope, Councillor Papp, you can take it back to the committee that, in fact, we had all of Peace Park on Saturday from 10 o'clock till 6 o'clock, and on Sunday, half of Peace Park until 4 o'clock. So we certainly are looking after that age group. So if you could share that with the committee, I'd appreciate that. My question, Mr. Mayor, surrounds the motion that's before us with respect to the $3,000 in the Horizon project in general. And I guess the question I'm asking is, for $25,000 to conduct a survey, would they not include as background to prepare for the survey a review of all the literature and studies that have been done in Niagara already without us expending another $3,000? I'm just asking the question.
Okay, thank you. Perhaps Councillor Papp, you can address the first issue and the second issue.
First issue with respect to the members' comments, I did correct her and mentioned to her that we did supply and we were providing all kinds of activities for young children throughout. So that will be duly noted at our next committee meeting in October. Secondly, yes, a literature search, including all across the region, will be undertaken as well to ensure that all the different components of capturing what demographics and what people are actually looking at and looking for in Pelham are undertaken as well. So I want to assure them that the grant is up to $25,000, but if there's things that we can do that's already been produced, we will then not probably have to draw upon those funds. Just to be safe, we want to make sure that that's there.
Okay, thank you. Councillor Kersey?
Just for clarity then, through you, Mr. Mayor, to Councillor Papp. So those $3,000 will not be expended until you know where the Horizon Grant
Correct.
lies, and then meet with a proponent to decide what
Right.
they're going to include and not include.
Yeah, we're already, that's correct. I'm sorry. I didn't-
Go ahead.
We already are doing that, and in fact, we are engaging the specific services through Brock University, which has a gerontology and geriatric program, and they'll assist us. And once we know what is available, that'll also gauge what kind of funding we get from, how we use it from New Horizons and our own funding as well.
Thank you.
Okay?
All right, thank you. Anyone else to that report and that recommendation? Councillor King.
Through you, Mr. Mayor, just to add to the Summerfest activities, the usual kids zone activities were occurring on all day Saturday on Pelham Street. So that age group
For active
was,
transportation, yeah.
yes, sorry, hosted by the Active Transportation Committee. So in my opinion, unless Ms. Cook means something else in her report when she refers to kids' services other than activities, then I don't know what we were missing. Thank you, Mr. Mayor.
Okay, thanks very much. Anyone else to that seniors report? Anyone else to any of the other items under the consent agenda? I just want to thank the director for the Canada Day celebration final report. It's certainly a wonderful event and put together. The weather did play a factor this year, And we always hope for better weather, whether it's trying to get air balloons up in previous years or rain that really just cleared out the park in this case. But thank you very much for that report. And as well, we look forward to Culture Days coming up. Lots of activities. So very exciting time, and I know members of council will try to get out and certainly invite members of the community as well to participate in that. And I know staff are getting that information out to the community, and we hope that local news media gets that out as well about those activities. Thank you. I'm going to call the question then on the motion with all of the items under the consent agenda. All those in favor? Any opposed? That motion carries. Thank you. Next, we move to the mayor's report. Thank you, members of council. So this is my report on significant activities since my last report to council. I was very pleased to bring greetings at the 3rd annual Niagara Industrial Association golf tournament that they held at Lookout on the 28th of August, 2017. The Niagara Industrial Association has really come together as an association over the last number of years. The whole idea or concept that industrial development and industrial endeavors are not here is false. This is really the secondary nature of industrial endeavors in Niagara, and this group is growing. It's very large, very focused, and are doing great things in our community. So they were the ones that were responsible for regional councils back a few years ago, saying 0 industrial development charges. And they're still actively on that now that the region didn't necessarily listen to them this time around for development charges. So we'll try and change that. Very pleased to attend, along with Councillor Durley and the CAO, Revel Realty grand opening at their Fonthill office on the 30th of August. You see the picture there. Very pleased to cut the ribbon there. They were very, very excited and really brought, just you get the feeling from what they spoke about, a different approach to their entire business, and you could just see the energy. So congratulations to them, and we wish them all the best, especially to Jonas, Darcy, and Ryan and their entire team. I had the honor of presenting to Lookout Ridge Retirement Home on the 7th of September. They had a career day, and I was a career day guest. I was very intrigued because they've been doing this with, and I thought it was innovative, residents from Lookout Ridge each week were presenting either in the chapel or in another part of the of Lookout Ridge, sort of their history, their life story, their something that they're interested in, those kind of things, and they've been doing it week in and week out. What a great way to get to know sort of the members of that community and the diversity of who they are. I was honored, therefore, to speak a little bit about myself and my family, but also talk, of course, about the town and the various things. So answering all the questions they had, everything from the very broad questions about what's going on in development in East Fonthill to what about that particular piece of property up on Tice Road and what's that going to be for, etc. So it was a very good back and forth, and it was my honor to present there. Very honored as well to attend and participate on behalf of council at the Wellspring Niagara Cancer Support Center groundbreaking on the 12th of September. Councillor Kersey, Durley, Pap, Ribiak, and many town staff were there, and I was honored to be your spokesperson in that time period. Officially break ground. You see some of the photos there on their new Regional Cancer Support Center. They are, as you saw, over the moon with this, and so excited. They're delighted with the location, delighted that it will be 50 Wellspring Way, and delighted that they've also reached 50% of their fundraising target, which was a great announcement for them to make that day as well. I thank the dedicated volunteers and the staff for being, as I said at that day, a beacon of light, and one of the members of Wellspring called them a rainbow of hope. for individuals and families dealing with the impacts of cancer. And on your behalf, I said to them, welcome to Pelham, welcome home. It has been a long journey for them. They didn't receive necessarily a favorable experience in other communities when they were looking to set up shop there. So very, very pleased that we unanimously agreed to offer them this land and embrace them fully. So it's really a highlight of last week. That is my report. Unless there's any comments or questions, it has been moved by Councillor Papp, seconded by Councillor Kersey. Be it resolved that Mayor Augustine's report dated September 18th, 2017 be received for information. Councillor Papp.
Very quickly, Mr. Mayor, thank you for the report. I just wanted to let you know over the weekend I ran into a couple of clinicians from the Javansky Center, and they were thoroughly praising our movement to open up the wellspring, and so word has gotten out, and they were just truly, truly enthralled. They're treating a couple of close friends, some of you know, and they were very interested in and congratulated us. Look forward to the facility opening in a year from now.
That's great. Thank you very much, Councillor. I know that many of us received very, very positive comments with it, so thank you very much for bringing that. Anyone else? Okay. I'm going to call the question. All those in favor? Any opposed? That motion carries. Thank you. Councillor Papp, I believe you have a report as well?
That's correct.
Go ahead, please.
Mr. Mayor, I'll be very brief. As part of hopefully an ongoing part of the agenda, I'm going to be, as your representative on the Pelham Seniors Advisory Committee, bringing you reports on the work that they've done. Tonight, unfortunately, I do it verbally, but you do have the minutes of the meeting of September 6th, and I just want to highlight a couple of things. One is that they are planning a fall forum sometime near the first part of November. There's further details that we'll send to you on what it'll shape and take, what's the topics. Some are becoming self-evident, and a couple of them, again, dealing with the issues of housing, access to health care, etc. The other part is that the Conservation Cafe will continue to start, will be continued starting at the end of September. It'll be in different locations throughout the municipality. So Fenwick, Ridgeville, you'll see all this and all the different topics. So the idea is that we'll engage the community as people come in through these various businesses, they'll have a chance to talk about topics related to that, which is related to seniors care. The other final thing I want to mention is that it is of great distinction, and I want to make it known quite well that the town of Pelham, by becoming part of the World Health Organization, there only are a few municipalities that have reached that designation, and we are one of them. And we want to congratulate the Pelham Seniors Advisory Committee, the people that worked on this, and as well, we've asked, and I thank Mr. McDonald and also our clerk staff, that we need to have a celebration of this. This is very unique, very distinct, and sets a standard by which we should be very, very, proud of achieving this type of status. So you'll hear more about this in the next few weeks, and we'll work closely with you, Mr. Mayor, and the staff about putting together a celebration about the World Health Organization. Thank you, Mr. Mayor. That's my report.
Thank you very much, Councillor Papp. It is a huge coup to have that distinction, and the Pelham Seniors Advisory Committee doesn't just sit on their laurels. Like, as we just approved that report, they're continuing to make things better and advocate for seniors in our community. So we'll work together with you on that and keep council updated with some sort of special announcement to do that. And I believe Pelham is one of two in Niagara. Is that correct?
Yeah, the second one is actually the town of Thorold, city of Thorold, and that's the only two, as far as I know, in the immediate southern tier area. We'll give you a breakdown of all those, but across Canada, I understand there's 30 of them that have been designated as, and some of them are in large municipalities, others in smaller municipalities. So it says a lot about our age-friendly initiatives, because you can see that in those three municipalities, and I believe, I'm not sure, but I'll get it correct, at City of Welland as well.
Okay.
So those are distinctive things that help us work on all the things related not only to social aspects, but also the health and the well-being of our seniors.
Right. And it also indicates the excellent work of the committee.
The work of the community towards that.
Yeah.
Thank you, Mr. Mayor.
Thank you very much,
Appreciate
Councillor
it.
Papp. Thank you. Do we need a motion to accept or?
You can accept the verbal report.
Okay, so we'll accept the verbal report. Councillor Rubiak, did you have a question?
No, no, I'm
Okay,
going to move.
so all those in favor of Councillor Papp's verbal report? Thank you. That motion is carried, and we'll have the same movers and seconders as my report, if you don't mind. Now we move to, since there are no staff reports requiring action, we move to, moved by Councillor Durley, second by Councillor King, presentation and consideration of bylaws. Be it resolved that Council of the Town of Pelham, having given due consideration to the following bylaws, do now read a first, second, and third time, do pass the same, and that Mayor and Clerk be and are hereby authorized to sign and seal the bylaws. Bylaw 3920, being a bylaw to authorize the execution of agreement with Her Majesty the Queen in right of the Province of Ontario, as represented by the Minister of Transportation for the Province of Ontario, Ontario Municipal Commuter Cycling Program 2018. Questions or comments? Councillor Kersey?
Thank you, Mr. Mayor, and I apologize if this was discussed at the meeting that I was not here. I just wondered what this was all about, and we're obviously committing to some funding. Have we got quantum on that? Just all the sort of general details with respect to this.
Good question, Gary.
Okay, thank you. Ms. Clementio, are you able to address this? I know your staff have been working diligently on it.
Through you, Mr. Mayor, we have with corporate services, this is an opportunity that arose about some funding opportunities for promoting commuter cycling, not necessarily recreational, but commuter cycling is the initiative here. And so we put forward some eligible projects that were taken right out of our active transportation master plan. And part of the requirement of the funding application is that there be an agreement through council to provide to come up with the funding should the award of funding come from the province. So it's a pretty standard request for them to say that if we award you this project, that you come up with your funds to go forward. So these are 28, it's a 3-year application that we submitted covering a range of projects. We consulted the Active Transportation Committee to see which projects they felt would be high priority to apply for. And it includes signed bike routes, some ridership assessment to finally get some good numbers on what kind of ridership we have and how many of those are commuters. And then some larger ticket items in future years. Those are both 2018 projects, smaller amounts. 2019 and 2020 are larger, talking about paving of the Steve Bauer Trail to the South Welland limit, and some other projects. I don't know if you want me to go through all of them, but it's a 3-year span. The scope of this commitment is for 2018 only, and again, it would only be, we would only be going forward with these projects should the funding come through from the province.
Thank you. They're 80-cent dollars, is that correct?
Through you, Mr. Mayor, I am not certain. I don't know if the Deputy Treasurer, I can quickly check. It looks to be yes. So say, for example, 2019, the Steve Bauer Trail, it's about a $200,000 estimate of project, and our municipal contribution would be $40,000.
So they're 80-cent dollars.
20%, yep.
Good.
And I think one of them as well, Ms. Clementio, was Canberra Road sort of commuter lanes, is that correct?
Yes, through you, Mr.
In the
Mayor, we
third
also
year?
have paving the spur line, and then 2019, we have Canberra Road cycling improvements, estimated at $1.4 million through the Active Transportation Master Plan, and our commitment would be $281,400 in 2019.
Okay, thank you. Perhaps, Ms. Clementio, you can, it's not appended here on the bylaw. Perhaps you can send that around to council. Thank you. Councillor Kersey?
I'm fine.
Okay, thank you. Any others? There being none, I call the question. All those in favor? Any opposed? That motion carries. Let's hope that we do get the funding so that we can continue along the master plan for active transportation. Thank you. Thank you. I do have a motion here to go into closed session, but we should recess that. Wonder if Councillor King and Councillor Ribbiak would put forward a motion to recess the in-camera portion until immediately following committee?
Yes.
Yes.
Okay, thank you. Going to call the question on that. All those in favor? Any opposed? That motion carries. This meeting is recessed, and I presume Councillor Papp, you want to start immediately into
Immediately.
committee. So just if you can wait until we switch chairs here, and then Councillor Papp will start the committee. But this meeting is recessed. Thank you.